What's going on, guys? Steffen here, and today I want to address a topic that is oftentimes very confusing to guys, and that's this whole notion of inner game versus outer game. Which one should I focus on? Where should I put my energy towards in order to get the best and the fastest results in game? So why is that even so important to talk about? It doesn't even matter, okay, I work on my inner game, I work on my outer game, doesn't even matter. Why is it important? Well, it is so important because you need to make a proper distinction of where you want to put your attention and most of your focus, because then you're able to develop your results much faster and don't spend as much time spinning your wheels in terms of applying a certain technique and then working with that for a few months and wondering why it doesn't work. So I want to kind of demystify and give you a little bit of an approach that has worked for me for many years, and which I found to be very, very true. So here it goes. Inner game, outer game. Firstly, let's start off by making the distinction of what I actually mean by inner game and what I mean by outer game. So outer game is everything that you apply in the outer world, your tactics, your little moves, and everything that is causing an effect in the immediate in-field experience, right? So outer game might be something how you deal with the friends, how you pull a girl from A to B, how you make out with a girl, right? How you then get her home and have sex with you, the logistical side of things. Anything that could pop up potentially in your outer world that you need to deal with. So that's what I mean by outer game, right? It's mostly techniques that help you to succeed, right? If, that's a big if, applied correctly, right? And that's where the focus then goes to the inner game. This is your mindset and essentially the person who is applying those techniques. So think of it like a handyman, right? You can use a screwdriver in a certain way to work with whatever, right? Or you can use a hammer in a certain way. And but in certain situations, one is more appropriate than the other. And how you use the tool is also very important. I can use the hammer with ridiculous kind of force in order to get the nail into the wall, but that's not the same as being very clear, focused and attentive and doing what is necessary, and you can get the job done. Because if you overdo it, you might get yourself hurt, or you you might hurt others, or you even break the fucking tool. So the inner game is the person applying all the techniques that are being taught, that I could rant on for days about. But if the person applying a particular technique comes from a wrong frame, well, then the technique doesn't help you. If I tell you, go have fun and pull the friends over there, just be the center of attention, be the party, don't worry. And you do that, but you internally, you don't have a state of joy, you don't have a state of abundance, and you don't feel like the party, well, then that doesn't work, right? Same as making out with a girl, right? You have to be in a certain kind of state to do that, right? Under certain external conditions, that might not necessarily be be the case, and it just falls into place because it happens in the nature of the interaction. But in order to be in full control of all those little subtleties, it's very important to focus on what you actually can control, and this is your inner state to focus on. Because the outer world, there's always stuff coming up, right? Random stuff that you have no control over. Friends coming in, the boyfriend showing up, whatever. Suddenly you have to deal with a taxi driver who is not going the right direction, or all of a sudden, like, you bump into any other kind of obstacle that pops up that you need to deal with. Most of these obstacles, by the way, are very repetitive, and you can teach yourself how to deal with them by repetition. And the same is true for the inner world, right? Because here's the key thing. Here's a key phrase that I was looking forward to deliver, right? Because everything, all the results from that you have in the outer world follow from your inner world. So it's highly dependent on that. They are interrelated, obviously, like what you do or how you approach something internally affects the outcome in the external world, right? So there's a relation, but the way it flows is inner world, outer world follows inner world, right? If I'm happy, joyful, abundant, and I don't give a shit, then what am I projecting out into the world? I am projecting, hey, this guy's carefree. This guy doesn't, seem to mind. Like, I can hang out. He's non-needy, right? And all these different things that usually come up tend then to autocorrect. Now, most guys, what happens to them is they let the outer world affect their inner world, and not in a positive way, but in a negative way, or even both ways. It doesn't really matter. So, an example of this, the girl giving you shit, right? How do you deal with that? You can either frame it positively or negatively, right? What else? Boyfriend coming up, friend coming up, dragging your girl away, dudes bumping into you in the club, where guys like shoving you away, guys shit talking you down, girls shit talking you down, girls giving you shit tons of shit, right? All that stuff like coming at you from the outer world, but how you respond to it and how you reframe it then determines your success of the night. Or in day game, it's the same thing, right? It's universally applicable. So you want to put your focus in the first place on your inner game, right? Your self-talk, your mindset, the way you frame things for yourself, what kind of meaning you assign to certain events. A rejection can either be harsh and harmful and you feel hurt, or you have the choice, you have the freedom to choose, hey, I see this as funny, I don't care, and hey, this adds even more fuel to my fire. It's a matter of reframing, and there's a whole art of reframing. And this is the golden nugget keys here, because you can see now that applying a certain technique doesn't work if my mindset is negative and I might be not feeling fulfilled, I might not be feeling joyful. Then how in the bloody world should I project abundance or fake abundance? Because then this is essentially fake, because you're not truly aligned with your inner world and the outer world. So If it's not aligned, then it becomes across as ingenuine and inauthentic, right? And let me tell you that girls can smell this from a fucking mile away when you're not aligned, right? That doesn't mean to like put the pressure on you. It's just something to be aware of, that this is what's happening. So to sum this up, you want to focus on your inner game first, because all the results will flow from that into outer game. That doesn't mean to say that outer game techniques should not be studied. They should be very, very well studied as well, because, well, if you don't know what to do, then you know you can be in the happiest inner state, whatever. But if you don't know how to move things forward, how to escalate things, how to pull and how to freaking close, well, then all the inner game is worthless, right? Then you're just happy chilling, and I don't even need any goals at all. Well, yes, that's also fine, but by the end of the day, we want to get to a certain kind of practical result. So keep that in mind. From my experience over all these past few years has been that the inner game is king, right? It's so king, because it also helps you to come back from a negative state that may happen at any time of the night to you, depending on where you're at. You know, some shit may happen. You can pull yourself out, and then you have the techniques on top of that. And once you have both like really down, then nothing and absolutely nobody can stop you. So with that, enjoy that, apply it, and I see you in the next video.